É tetra! É tetra! É tetra! O Brasil é tetracampeão mundial!
Hi guys, this is Gabe, and welcome to another episode of The Brazilian Gamer. At first, I was going to talk about Street Fighter V launch issues and how more games are being released broken every year, but since everyone and their mother already talked about this subject this past week, I have decided to talk about something that has been on my mind every now and then. So in this video, I want to talk about episodic games. While the concept of episodic games is not something new, with the first games on the format dating back to the late 70s, episodic games have been increasing in number over the past 5 years, with Telltale games being in the forefront of this trend. With games based on intellectual properties such as The Walking Dead, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and Game of Thrones, Telltale has garnered a lot of critical acclaim with their games, and more are on the way from the developer, with a new untitled Batman game as well as a new Walking Dead miniseries focused on Michonne, one of the comic book and TV show characters, both coming in 2016. But Telltale isn't the only one looking at the format's potential. From indie developers to the AAA big shots, episodic games have been slowly but surely being developed, and with their ever-growing in popularity, the future is looking bright for the format. Oh, and let's not forget Final Fantasy VII Remake is also going to be episodic. But is this the future of our beloved medium, at least when it comes to narrative-driven games? For developers, this might be a way to cut costs and development time, while having chunks of your game being released over time help you get feedback from consumers in order to improve on future episodes. For the consumer, it means they can play the first episode, and if they don't like it, they can just not buy the following episodes, making it a low investment option compared to buying a $60 full game and realizing it's not of your liking. On the other hand, episodic games are mostly linear, narrative-driven games. How would the format work effectively on an open-world game or a multiplayer game? How do you educate the regular consumer on how these kinds of games work? Would the concept of value for the money can be conveyed, considering most of the games are 10 hours at most and the community in general are all for lots of content, hundreds of hours of gameplay and multiplayer components? There are a lot of questions, and only time will answer them and tell if episodic games are here to stay or if it's just a fad. In my opinion, episodic games have a place in the industry and they still have a lot of room to evolve. Development times and budgets are increasing exponentially with every passing year, and if this is the way to allow games that may never have been developed, they were fully fledged games, then I'm all for it. I can't imagine having to wait another 10 years just to have Final Fantasy VII Remake, so if this is the way to get the game earlier, even if it in parts, just bring it on. Also, as a fan of story-driven games, since I'm not really a multiplayer guy, having shorter, focused experiences are a way for me to become more engaged with the story and its characters. In my view, like it or not, episodic games are here to stay. Not as a replacement to the current format we have all been accustomed to, but as an important complement to the medium.